Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, picture this. A jolly, red-suited man with a big white beard, flying through the sky in a sleigh pulled by reindeer, delivering presents to children around the world. We all know him, we all love him, it's Santa Claus. But have you ever stopped to wonder where this iconic figure actually came from? Is he a real person? A legend? A marketing genius's creation? Today we're diving deep into the fascinating centuries-long journey of Santa Claus, tracing his evolution from an ancient saint to the global superstar he is today. You might be surprised by what we uncover. Our story begins not with reindeer and chimneys, but in the 3rd century AD, in a place called Patara, in what is now modern-day Turkey. This is where Saint Nicholas of Myra was born. Nicholas was a wealthy, devout Christian who became a bishop, and he was known for his incredible generosity and secret gift-giving. One of the most famous legends tells of a poor merchant who couldn't afford dowries for his 3 daughters, meaning they were destined for a life of poverty. Nicholas, hearing of their plight, secretly dropped bags of gold coins down their chimney, or some versions say, through a window, on 3 separate nights, saving the girls. This act of anonymous charity became his enduring legacy. After his death on December 6th, around 343 AD, Nicholas was canonized as a saint. Christians across Europe began celebrating St. Nicholas Day on December 6th, leaving out shoes or stockings the night before, hoping St. Nicholas would leave them small gifts or treats, much like the tradition of the future Santa. He became the patron saint of children, sailors, merchants, and even repentant thieves. Fast forward a few centuries, and the veneration of St. Nicholas was particularly strong in the Netherlands. Here, he evolved into Sinterklaas, a majestic white-bearded figure, still dressed in bishop's robes, riding a white horse over rooftops, accompanied by his helper, Zwarte Piet. He arrived by steamboat from Spain in mid-November and delivered gifts on December 5th, the eve of St. Nicholas Day. Children would leave out their clogs filled with carrots for his horse, hoping to find treats in return. Sounding a little more familiar, right? However, with the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, the veneration of saints became less popular in many parts of Europe. To keep the gift-giving tradition alive, especially in Germany, the focus shifted to the Christkindl, or Christ Child, who brought gifts on Christmas Eve. This is where we get the name Kris Kringle from. So, while some traditions stuck with Saint Nick, others began integrating the spirit of generosity into the Christmas holiday itself. Now, this is where America steps in and really begins to shape the Santa we know today. Dutch immigrants brought their Sinterklaas traditions with them to New Amsterdam, which later became New York. Over time, Sinterklaas became Santa Claus in English. Early mentions in American literature, like Washington Irving's 1809 satirical Knickerbocker's History of New York, depicted a portly, pipe-smoking St. Nicholas flying through the sky in a wagon, dropping presents down chimneys. It was a charming, if still rudimentary, image. But the true game-changer arrived in 1823 with Clement Clarke Moore's poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, better known as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." This poem single-handedly cemented many of the key elements we associate with Santa. A miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer with specific names. His entrance down the chimney. His classic physical description, chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, with eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. And of course, his magical ability to deliver gifts in a single night. Moore's poem gave us the narrative. Now Santa just needed his definitive look. That look came from the incredibly influential political cartoonist Thomas Nast. From 1863 to the 1880s, Nast drew a series of iconic illustrations for Harper's Weekly. He took Moore's description and ran with it, giving Santa his now familiar, larger-than-life image. Nast gave Santa his home at the North Pole, a workshop where elves make toys, the naughty and nice list, and most importantly, he consistently dressed Santa in a distinctive red suit with white fur trim, completing the visual transformation that would become globally recognizable. By the turn of the 20th century, Santa Claus was firmly established in the American imagination. But his look was still quite varied. Different illustrators would depict him in different ways, sometimes in green, purple, or even blue suits. This is where the Coca-Cola Company stepped in. Starting in the 1930s, they commissioned artist Haddon Sundblom to create a series of Christmas advertisements featuring Santa. Sundblom's Santa was based heavily on Moore's poem and Nast's illustrations, but he refined and standardized the image we know best today. A warm, human, wonderfully jolly man with a bright red suit, a specific shade that became deeply associated with the brand, and thus with Santa himself. It's a common myth that Coca-Cola invented the red suit. They didn't. Nast and others had used it for decades, but their hugely popular and widely distributed advertisements certainly solidified and mass-marketed that particular iconic image of Santa across the globe. From that point on, the modern Santa Claus became an international symbol of Christmas, joy, and the spirit of giving, crossing cultural boundaries and capturing the hearts of children and adults everywhere. So there you have it, the incredible journey of Santa Claus. From the compassionate Bishop Nicholas of Myra, whose secret acts of kindness sparked a tradition, through the Dutch Sinterklaas and German Christkindl, to the literary magic of Clement C. Moore and the vivid artistry of Thomas Nast, finally perfected into the global icon by artists like Haddon Sundblom. It's a story of transformation, cultural exchange, and the timeless human desire to celebrate generosity and wonder. Santa Claus isn't just one person or one legend. He's a beautiful, centuries-spanning tapestry woven from myth, history, and the enduring spirit of Christmas. What's your favorite part of Santa's history? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into the past, please hit that like button, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.